From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Ban Barqawi. It's Friday, March 21st. Here are today's headlines. Palestinians in Gaza have been warned not to move between the north and the south of the Strip. Israel's army has told residents they cannot travel through the Salah ad-Din road, the main route that runs through the territory. Defense Minister Israel Katz said that attacks on Hamas targets in this area would increase until the group frees Israeli captives. This comes after a major Israeli attack this week that shattered 2 months of relative calm. Displaced Palestinians had started to return to their homes when the truce first began, but now the new offensive will once again isolate the north of the Strip from its south, as it had during more than a year of war. The National's Nagham reports.
This new division of the Strip has affected many aspects of life in Gaza. Vegetables will no longer be available in the northern Gaza Strip due to the disruption in their transfer from the south. Additionally, many families have been separated, as most families in Gaza are divided between the north and the south. Many people have also been forced to evacuate their homes near the Netzarim corridor, fearing potential militant operations that could affect their safety.
Attacks have continued over the past few days, killing almost 500 Palestinians, a huge number of them women and children. That's according to figures from the Gaza Health Ministry. Residents described tragic scenes on Wednesday when a condolences tent was struck by an Israeli attack. Nagham has spoken to people on the ground about the incident.
While people gathered yesterday, Wednesday, in Beit Lahia, north of the Gaza Strip, to offer their condolences to their relatives for the loss of their son, Dr. Wasim Mubarak, 2 Israeli missiles struck the condolences tent, killing around 15 people, including Wasim's father and his brother. Wasim was killed along with his wife and 3 daughters when an Israeli airstrike hit the car they were in. People that were at the place were so shocked and described what happened as an unjust crime against innocent people.
U.S. President Donald Trump has warned that Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels will be, quote, completely annihilated. His statement comes as the U.S. intensifies a military campaign against the group. Mr. Trump also warned Iran against continuing its aid for the Houthis. Quote, tremendous damage has been inflicted upon the Houthi barbarians, and watch how it will get progressively worse, the president wrote on his Truth Social platform. The Pentagon said it had struck 30 targets since Saturday when the offensive began in response to Red Sea shipping attacks by the Houthis. Scenes of destruction in Yemen emerged after the U.S. launched more than 10 strikes on targets in Sada province and the port city of Hodeidah late on Wednesday. Despite U.S. pressure, the Houthis have refused to scale back attacks in the Red Sea in what they say are in solidarity with Palestinians in the Gaza war. On Thursday, the group launched a missile attack on Israel's Ben Gurion airport, but it was intercepted by the military. The escalation has caused concerns that U.S. involvement in another Middle East conflict could bring more instability to the region. Germany has reopened its embassy to Syria 13 years after shuttering. Its mission in Damascus had closed its doors when former President Bashar al-Assad violently suppressed a popular uprising and a brutal civil war broke out in the country. The German embassy was opened by Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. It marks her second visit to the Syrian capital since Mr. Assad was ousted on December 8th. Jamie Prentis reports.
The opening of the mission comes 3 months after Mr. al-Assad was ousted from power by a coalition of rebel groups headed by his recently appointed successor, Ahmed al-Shara, in a lightning rebel offensive that ended more than 50 years of Assad family rule over Syria. The German foreign minister, speaking ahead of her visit, said that she would use her trip to tell Syria's new government that a fresh start between Europe and Germany on one side and Syria on the other was conditional on all Syrians enjoying freedom and security, regardless of their faith, gender, or ethnicity.
The EU had recently started to ease sanctions on Syria's energy, transport, and banking sectors to encourage investment in its battered economy. But renewed sectarian violence has raised questions about the ability of the new leadership to take control of the situation.
Her visit came despite an uptick in violence, particularly in coastal areas of Syria in recent weeks. The reopening of the mission comes despite this violence on the Syrian coast, the heartland of the Alawite community to which Mr. al-Assad belongs, as security forces aligned with the new government battled loyalists of the old regime. Hundreds of civilians have been killed, most of them Alawites, according to the monitoring groups such as the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights.
Other countries have also taken steps to reopen their embassies in Damascus, including Qatar, Turkey, and Spain. Hungary has stated it would reopen its mission too. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Ban Barqawi, The National.